Friend, have you ever heard those phrases that sound like they came straight from a relationship manual, like pretend to be hard to get, or love will come when you least expect it? Well, they may sound good at first, but they might be sabotaging your chance of finding real love. Today, I'm going to tell you which of these popular pieces of advice you need to abandon immediately, and more importantly, what you should do instead. Stick with me until the end because the last mistake is something almost everyone makes without realizing it, and it could be pushing the right man out of your life. Advice number 1, focus only on appearance to attract him. You know the talk about always needing to look flawless to win someone over? Perfect hair, spot-on makeup, outfits that slay. It seems like the world tells us that appearance is all that matters. But does that really create a true connection? Taking care of yourself is great, of course, but focusing solely on looks can lead you down an empty path. Now think about it. How do you want him to see you? As someone who's just pretty, or as someone full of personality? The right man won't fall in love just for your looks. He'll want to get to know your interests, what makes you laugh, and what dreams you have for the future. Showing who you really are is worth much more than any stylish outfit or perfect makeup. For example, imagine you attract someone purely for your appearance. You start hanging out, but he never pays attention when you talk about that amazing book you're reading or your achievements at work. Wouldn't that be frustrating? When the focus is just on the outside, you might end up attracting someone who doesn't align with who you truly are. So, friend, don't fall for the idea that beauty is everything. Real connection happens when people can see what's behind the smile. And speaking of real connections, have you noticed how often we expect the other person to make all the moves? Let's talk about that now, because it's another common mistake. Advice number 2, wait for him to do all the work. How many times have we heard that it's the man's job to chase after you? It's like some unwritten rule, right? You just sit there, waiting to be won over, like it's automatic. But honestly, that can make you miss out on amazing opportunities. Relationships aren't a dance where he leads and you just follow. They're teamwork, where both people play an important role. Imagine this. You like someone, but you're waiting for him to notice and make all the effort. He might not even realize you're interested or think that you're not into him. Why not give a signal, start a conversation, or even ask him out? It may feel scary, but it's also liberating to take control of what you want and show it in a light, natural way. And you know what? Taking the initiative doesn't take anything away from you. In fact, it only adds to your value. It shows you know what you want, you're confident, and you're ready to make things happen. This applies to people already in relationships too. Suggesting something different to do together or surprising your partner only strengthens the bond. Who doesn't love a partner with initiative? Now, maybe you're thinking, what if he thinks it's weird or rejects me? That fear is normal, but it shouldn't hold you back. The right man will admire your courage and appreciate that you took the first step. And if he doesn't appreciate it, well, then you already know he's not the right one for you. Advice number 3, pretend to be who he wants you to be. It's so easy to fall into the temptation of wanting to please someone, right? Sometimes we even start changing the way we act, speak, or behave just to fit into what the other person expects. It might seem like a good idea at first, but friend, it's not going to get you anywhere. Changing who you are to please someone else won't create a true connection. It will only build a mask that, over time, will fall off. When you try to adapt too much, you lose yourself and stop being who you really are. And believe me, a healthy relationship only happens when both people accept each other for who they really are, flaws and all. You deserve someone who loves you for who you truly are, not for a version you're trying to be. Imagine this. At first, he might be drawn to this version of you that you've created, but over time, it gets hard to keep up the facade. You'll realize you're living a lie, and that's just going to lead to frustration for both of you. What you want is someone who loves your essence, not a manufactured version of you. So, how about being yourself? Show the world who you really are from the beginning. That's going to attract the right person, someone who'll truly value you. Now, speaking of being genuine, there's a common mistake that many women make. pretending to be hard to get to seem more interesting. Let's talk about that now. Advice number 4. Play hard to get to be conquered. I know, a lot of people say that in order to be attractive, we need to be hard to get, drop some hints, and act like we're a challenge. You know, things like, don't give in too easily, or be a challenge, he'll chase after you. But honestly, this strategy is super tiring and, in the end, almost never works. When you pretend to be unreachable, you're just putting up a wall between you and a real connection. Instead of protecting yourself and waiting for him to make all the moves, why not be more direct and honest? Showing how you feel in a simple and clear way won't make you any less interesting. On the contrary, it'll show that you're confident in who you are and that you're looking for something real. Relationships based on clarity and respect are much stronger. Now think about it. If you're always playing hard to get, you're just going to build a wall between you two and won't actually connect. He might not even notice that you're trying to send signals. And worst of all, you'll end up distancing yourself from who you really are, hiding behind a game. So, instead of playing hard to get, how about just being yourself? Be transparent, without any games. That'll open the door to a much more real and respectful relationship. And by the way, this leads us to another mistake many women make. Advice number 5, settle for any relationship, just to avoid being alone. Girl, I get it. The fear of being alone can be overwhelming, but settling for any relationship just to avoid loneliness is like buying something you don't even want, just because it was on sale. It might feel like a solution in the moment, but down the road, the cost is high. Being in an empty or unfulfilling relationship will only bring frustration and, even worse, drain your energy from finding something that's truly worth it. When you settle for less than you deserve, it's like trying to fit the wrong piece into a puzzle. It might work for a while, but it never quite feels right, and it only leads to emotional exhaustion. Spending time alone might seem scary, but it's a valuable opportunity to discover who you are, what you want, and most importantly, what you don't want. That's when you grow stronger and stop settling for less. Think about it. How many women, maybe even you, have looked back and thought, why didn't I just wait a little longer? Relationships that lack harmony or happiness only delay your path to something real. The right man will show up when you know your worth and are ready to welcome someone who truly aligns with you. True happiness starts when you're comfortable with your own company. And you know what? It shows the world and yourself that you deserve something that truly fulfills you. Now, let's move on to another common mistake. Advice number 6, lower your standards to give someone a chance. Have you ever heard the saying that you need to be less picky to find someone? A lot of people believe that and end up ignoring their standards and values just to give someone a shot. But do you know the problem with that? Your standards aren't there by accident. They reflect what's important to you and what makes you happy. Letting go of them just to please someone or try something that doesn't feel right rarely works. Now, picture this. You start dating someone who has nothing to do with what you're really looking for. At first, it might seem okay. After all, you're being flexible, right? But over time, you begin to notice that your emotional, intellectual, or even practical needs aren't being met. Deep down, you know you're forcing yourself to stay in something that doesn't feel good. When you let go of what truly matters, you risk ending up in a relationship that leaves you feeling unsatisfied. And that's not fair to you. On the other hand, when you hold on to your standards, you create space to attract someone who truly aligns with who you are and what you want for your future. And girl, that makes all the difference. Your standards are like a guide. They help you choose something that's truly valuable. It's not about being overly demanding, it's about knowing what makes you happy and not settling for less than that. Speaking of happiness and expectations, have you ever stopped to think about how the idea of perfect love might get in your way? Let's dive into that next, but first, a quick message. Did you know there's a secret that only 1 in every 1,000 women knows? It's something that makes any man dedicate himself to you completely, without even understanding why. This information is so rare that very few people have access to it. If you're ready to discover something that could change your relationships forever, I've left an exclusive video in the comments, but watch it quickly. it might not be available for long. First, though, let's finish up here. Advice number 7. Wait for love to magically appear. Girl, have you ever heard someone say, love will come when you least expect it? It sounds comforting, but the truth is, it might make you complacent, believing all you need to do is wait. But love isn't magic. It's built. It's born from choices, encounters, and the effort of two people who decide to invest in each other. You can't just wait for it to fall from the sky, right? To find someone special, you need to be open to opportunities. Staying in the same circle or avoiding new experiences might be keeping you from meeting the right person. How about trying something new? It could be a hobby, a social event, or even dating apps. You never know who you might meet at the next coffee shop you visit, or the dance class you decide to take. Love often shows up when you allow yourself to explore the world. Also, believing that love will show up by chance might make you forget an important point: being emotionally ready. Before entering a relationship, it's essential to know what you're looking for, address your insecurities, and feel comfortable in your own company. Think of it like tending to a garden. You prepare the soil, plant the seed, and care for it until it blooms. Love is the result of your care and time, not just pure luck. So instead of just waiting, be proactive in your journey. Go out, explore, and work toward building something real. Intentional love doesn't take away the magic. If anything, it makes it happen. And if you want more tips and inspiration to transform your love life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And make sure to watch the next video that's playing on your screen.